Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to LuxPower online training. Today is the second training on 2026, and today's training topic is about the TriP2 series three-phase hybrid inverter product introduction. And we will record today's training and upload it to our YouTube channels. And we will share today's training materials in PDF as well. So, and after the training, we will have a Q&A session about today's training. And if you can send your questions in the meeting chat, and I will review and answer them afterwards. Okay, so let's start. Today's training topic is the TriP2 series, like I mentioned before, and we have two different models: the TriP2 high voltage battery, and the low voltage battery. And as a second generation of three-phase hybrid inverters, and with a new exterior design and more application scenarios. And this training includes 5 parts: an overview of these two inverters, the product highlights, technical details, working mode introduction, and the summary. Let's take a look at the TriP2 HB3P 6 to 30 kilowatt. It's a new generation of three-phase hybrid inverters and working with high voltage battery. Now we have IP66, 5 to 10 years warranty, 30 kilowatt rated power, and a whole new structure design from inside and out. And in order to meet the uh, demand for three-phase system working with low voltage battery, we introduced the TriP2 LB 3P5 to 20 kilowatt series with maximum 20 kilowatt rated power and supporting low voltage battery with 40 to 60 volts. Now let's take a look at the upgrade parts in detail. First, protection upgrade from IP65 to IP66. And we have applied a new exterior design to ensure a more robust waterproof ability. Okay, and the second part we have upgraded is the usability upgrade. We have changed the design for AC and battery terminals from the traditional ports to the waterproof port and adding a wiring box for easier installation and maintenance. And the third part is upgrades on specifications. So on EPS side, the surge power and the duration has been upgraded immensely. The duration for uh, the surge power and duration uh, for the UPS have upgraded from 1.5 rated power for 10 seconds to 5 minutes, and the switching time upgrades from 20 milliseconds to less than 10 milliseconds, and on grid side from 20 kilowatts to 30 kilowatts. And since the TriP2 series is working in the 230 slash 400 volts, so East Africa and Asia markets. And the TriP2 series can work in different systems, like the first one working with the solar solar and battery storage system from solar battery and the grid to supply the on-grid loads and the UPS loads. And the second, the AC coupling applications with existing solar systems. Third one, an on-grid solar system without batteries, supporting the EPS even without the battery connected. And the first one is off-grid applications and complete off-grid system without the grid connected, just the solar and the battery to supply the UPS loads. And as for more and the parallel system for larger power needs, we're supporting maximum 10 units in parallels. And the last one, for some regions like with inadequate solar power, the off-grid system with a generator will ensure a stable off-grid application. And all the functions contributed to a versatile inverter, which can be applied to multiple different working scenarios. For example, residential homes. So with a three-phase output, the customer can support both single and three-phase loads with uninterrupted power supply during outage. And for small commercials, with parallel system, TriP2 can be used for small commercial applications, support critical loads with stable AC output. And for remote areas with weak and no grid access, TriP2 can utilize both solar and generator power to ensure a stable off-grid system. And for some customers who already installed grid-tied inverters, adding TriP2 can upgrade their system with energy storage and more advanced energy management. Okay, now that's all for the product overview. Then we have learned some basics about the TriP2 series. Now let's begin with the second part, the product highlights. Let's begin with TriP2 HB high voltage battery series. With 30 kilowatt rated AC output power, less than 10 milliseconds switching time, and 5 minutes for 150 rated power. For each phase, it supported 150 unbalanced output, which is maximum 15 kilowatts for each phase. And 20.7 kilowatts generator ports power input, the TriP2 can assure you a reliable and a stable power supply. And let's not forget the TriP2 LB series. So with much larger battery charging and discharging current, since it's using the low voltage battery, we kept the rated power to 20 kilowatts as the TriP series. And still less than 10 milliseconds switching time, 150 unbalanced output, maximum 10 kilowatts per phase, and 20.7 generator port power input, the same with the TriP HB series. And most important part is that the TriP2 LB series is working with the low voltage battery. So currently we support more than 20 plus mainstream lithium-ion battery brands like LuxPower, Hainan ESS, PylonTech, Swanza, Hubble, Waco, GSL Energy, and Pites, and etc. You can view all the compatibility list on our official website. And it can also working with lead acid battery or no battery as well. And what's more, the TriP2 series is equipped with vibrant high resolution LCD screen that provides a clear, colorful, and intuition interface. You can monitor all essential system information at a and operating it is just as simple, which is responsive touch control. You can easily navigate the settings and modes. This user-friendly design ensures effective system management for everyone, regardless of the technical background. And TriP2 series have exceptional installation adaptabilities. It's it's engineered to meet your client's diverse site requirements. First, we have the IP66, which means the TriP2 series is completely dust tight and protected against powerful water jets. Next, let's look in at the noise emission. A critical factor for like residential or noise sensitive areas with a low noise emission of just 50 decibels. This system can operate quietly. And finally, the maximum operating altitude is 2,000 meters. TriP2 can maintain like full capacities in high altitude areas. Now let's move to the third section, the technical details of TriP2 series. The first part is a data sheet, starting with the TriP2 HP 3P6 to 30 kilowatt. For TriP2 HP, there is 8 models you can see here. From 6 to 30 kilowatt, and we divide them into two groups, 8 to 10 kilowatt and 12 to 30 kilowatt. Different groups will have different designs in terminals, like in PV side. The 6 to 10 kilowatt have 2 MPPT inputs, and the 12 and 30 have 3 MPPT inputs. Okay, now let's go through the data sheets one by one. First, the maximum PV input power is 1.5 times of the rated power. For example, the TriP2 30 kilowatts, the maximum PV input is 45 kilowatts. And the rated PV input voltage is 690 volts. Number of independent MPPT inputs, 2 MPPT and 1 string each, and 3 MPPT, 2 strings each. So, for example, the second group have 6 strings in total. The maximum PV input voltage is 1000 volts, and the MPPT voltage range is from 200 to 900 volts. And the startup voltage is only 100 volts, which means that the inverter can start with only 100 volt PV input. And for each string, the maximum PV input current is 20 amperes, and the maximum PV short circuit current is 25 amperes. So the same with the second group. So the 40 means there is 2 strings, each string is 20, and 50 means 2 strings each string has 25 amperes. And on the battery side, we compatible with high voltage batteries, both lithium-ion and lead-acid batteries. The rated battery voltage is 400 volts, and we're supporting a battery ranging from 100 to 800 volts. The maximum charging and discharging power is the same with the rated power, and the maximum charge and discharging current is 50 amperes for group 1 and 75 amperes for group 2. We're also supporting the 4-speaker battery from PV function. And on the grid side, it is working in the 230/400 volts 3-phase system with both 50 and 60 hertz. And the rated AC output power currents is the same with the rated power, the same on the grid port and the UPS port. adjustable power factor from 0.8 leading to 0.8 lagging, less than 3% THDI, and the maximum continuous AC pass-through current is 75 amperes. On the generator side, we're supporting a three-phase generator with 230 to /400 volts, also 50 and 60 frequencies, and the rated generator input power is 20.7 kilowatt for all models. On the UPS port, besides the rated power we just mentioned, the surge power and duration is 1.5 times rated power for 5 minutes and less than 10 milliseconds switching time, pure sine waveform, and less than 3% THDV. And next part is the rest of the datasheet of the TriP2 HB series. The efficiency is 97.4% and the maximum charging and discharging efficiency is 97.2, which is much higher than the low voltage batteries. And for the protections, we include a comprehensive protections, for example, the PV reverse polarity protections, overcurrent and voltage protection, anti-islanding protection, AC short circuit protection, leak current protection, grid monitoring, DC switch, the IP rating, and both AC and DC surge protection with Type 3. And for the general specifications, we will see the dimensions of the TriP2 series, the same dimensions for all models, and we divide since we have different terminals and different cooling methods, so the weight might be different from group 1 and group 2. The same IP ratings, IP66, and the operating environmental temperature range is from -25 to 60 Celsius degree. The storage temperature range is from -40 to 70 Celsius degree, and the relative humidity is from 0 to 100%. And for display, we have a touch color screen display we introduced, and supporting RS485 and CAN communications with battery, CT, and meters. And we have a Wi-Fi monitoring for remote control. With 5 or 10 years warranty, and cooling method is natural cooling for group 1 and smart fan coolings for group 2. Transformerless topologies, and the maximum operating altitude is 2,000 meters with a noise emission less than 50 decibel. And the TriP2 HB series is also compliant with the standards and certifications here, like the European safety certifications, grid connection certifications, and as well as some region-specific grid connection certifications, like the one in Italy, in Poland, England, and etc. And for the TriP2 low voltage battery series, I will mainly include the different parts from the high voltage battery series. So firstly, the LB series have 3 MPPT with 1 strings each for all models, and the PV rated power is also the maximum PV input power is also 1.5 of the rated power of the inverters, and the same PV input voltage range, the same startup voltage, also the same maximum PV input current and short circuit current for each string. And the main difference is the batteries. It is compatible with the low voltage battery, both lithium ion and lead acid batteries, with a battery voltage range from 40 to 60 volts. The maximum charging and discharging current is the maximum is 250 for group 2s here. Sorry, for group 2. From 12 kilowatts to 20 kilowatts. So the maximum charging and discharging power is also 12 kilowatts for the 15 and 20 kilowatts. And on the grid side, it is the same with the HP series, only the maximum continuous AC pass-through current is different. We divided in 3 groups with 30, 50, and 70 amperes. The same generator input parameters with maximum 20.7 kilowatt generator input power. And on the UPS side, since the charging and discharging power of the battery is 12 kilowatt for 15 and 20 kilowatts, so the UPS rated output power will combine with the PV and battery to meet the 15 and 20 kilowatts power output. And all the other specifications is the same with the HP series. Okay, now let's look at the rest of the data sheets of the TriP2 LB series. For the efficiency, the maximum efficiency is 97.7, and the maximum charging and discharging efficiency is 94%. The same protections and slightly different dimensions, and the same dimensions, but the weight is 53 kilograms, which is 3 kilograms heavier than the HP series. And the same IP ratings and other specifications and the standard certifications is also similar with the HP series. Okay, the next part, let's see the parameter comparisons with some against the DE and the Solis equivalents. Firstly is the TriP2 HP 30 kilowatt. At a rated power 30 kilowatts for all 3 models, and the MPPT voltage range from 200 to 90 voltage, and there is 150 to 850 volts. Which offerings grid we have a higher MPPT voltage range offering a great stream flexibilities, and we offer the IP66, whereas the DE provide the IP65, and we have the least noise emission with 50 decibels, whereas there are 55 decibels and 65 decibels. And now comparing the LB models, the TriP2 LB 3P 20K with DE and Solis equivalents. The powers we're offering are 420 kilowatts other than like DE, and the Solis only have 18 kilowatt models. And we have the same MPPT range, we have a larger MPPT voltage range from these 2 models, and the IP rating IP66, which is whereas the DE provide IP65, and we have the numbers of parallel units, 10 units, and the Solis only provides 6 units in parallels. And also the noise emission, 50 decibels noise emissions, and the competitor models have a 60 decibel and 65 decibels, which is much quieter like in residential applications. Okay, now let's look at the physical interface of the TriP2 HB 30 kilowatt. As you can see here, we have 6 strings, 3 MPPTs. The Wi-Fi dongle ports for remote control, communication port for CT meters, parallel communication, and batteries. The battery terminal here, grid, load, and the generator terminals, the air vent values, and the cooling fans here. And for the TriP2 LB series, here is the thing we have similar arrangements on the outside the ports, and remember that the PV strings of the LB series there is only 3 strings, and inside the wiring box you will see the battery terminals, the communication ports for the parallel communication there is 2, the CT ports, the DRM ports, the battery CAN or RS485 ports, and the meter port. And here is the dry contact for ports to remote start the generator, and the grid load generator terminals here, the PE bar. Okay, the next part is the wiring diagram. Here is the wiring diagram of like you can consider it as both LB or HB series, just using different batteries. And on the DC side, it is connecting the PV and the battery, also the BMS cable. And on AC side, it is connecting the grid and generator. And you can connect the loads on the EPS ports, like here, or the grid side, like this one and this one. And it is supporting both single phase loads and the 3-phase loads. And also remember to connecting the CT. And for a larger energy needs, the parallel function is essential. So we're supporting up to 10 units in parallels. So for 30 kilowatt models, that means you can achieve a massive 300 kilowatt AC output. And for the 20 kilowatt models, you can reach 200 kilowatts. So through the parallel functions, we can bridge the gap between the residential and the commercial or industrial applications. And here is the wiring diagram for the high voltage parallel system. For high voltage parallel systems, both the PV and the battery must be connected to the inverter individually, and also the BMS cables as well. They cannot connecting the batteries to like together and with the inverters to use as like a battery bank for different inverters. And for the low voltage parallel system, the battery can be paralleled as a battery bank. You can see here together. And you also have to remember to connecting the parallel communication cables between inverters. Now let's look at the generator function. The generator port has 3 different functions. Function 1 is the generator connection. And as you can see, we have a universal generator input power with 20.7 kilowatts with 30 amperes per phase. And our system can automatically start a generator with the dry contact ports here. when the starting condition are met, like we usually set it based on the battery voltage or SOC. So if the battery SOC is low and there is no grid connected, so the generator will start automatically to supplying the loads and charge the battery. And for function two is AC coupling. So if you have an existing grid-tied solar system, for example, a microinverters or string inverters, you can connect the output of the existing inverter into the generator port. And the TriP2 will control this input using the excess energy to charge the batteries and also or export to the grid. This is the like the perfect retrofit solutions. And the function three of the generator port is the smart load. If you don't use a generator or extra solar, you can use this function for smart load. For example, when the battery is full and the PV production is high, so instead of exporting power to the grid, you can also uh, activate this system for smart load function to power a water heater or a heat pump. And in this case, it's maximize the self-consumption function. And the last part, so a crucial features for a three-phase inverter is the unbalanced output. So like many three-phase systems struggles if the like for example, if one phase have a heavy load and other have a light load, like in this case. So the TriP2 series can control the power output independently for each phase. It can output like 10 kilowatt on phase 1 and 2 kilowatt on phase B and 3 kilowatt on phase 3. So this function maximizes the PV utilizations and prevent drawing from the grid on one phase and while exporting on other phase. Okay, so now we have moved to the first part of today's training, the working mode. This subject is mainly how does the inverter software manage your energy. So, for example, this chart showed a typical day of the how you use the inverters. During one day, you will have a different power needs and different solar generation, so production. So, and with the help of the battery and working modes, you can make sure a steady power supply to the loads and maximize the utilization of the solar energy. For example, during daytime, each time the load needs surpass the solar generate power production, the battery will discharge to supply the loads. And when the solar energy surpasses the load needs, the battery will be charged from the solar power. So after the whole day, the battery is like usually discharged to a low SOC. So in this case, we can use the grid to charge the battery if the electricity price is low after midnight. So in this example, there is two working modes, self-consumption modes during daytime and AC charging during midnight. And so let's look at what the TriP2 series can do with the different working modes. So with mode one, the self-consumption, this is like default and most common modes. The priority of the power is from solar to battery to utility grid. So the goal of this function is to stop buying power from the grid. So the solar powers the home first. And with excess solar power, it will charge the battery. And if the battery is full, then export to the grid. So, and if the solar isn't enough, the battery can discharge to power the loads with the PV together. And the grid is the last option. So for example, both solar and battery is not enough, then it will import power from the grid to make sure that the load is powered. So it is the optimal options for regions with like a fixed electricity price. And mode two is the battery backup. So this is the for areas with like frequent power outages. It will keep the battery full if there is the grid connected with PV with the solar generation. So the system will prioritize keeping the battery charged with the solar, and the loads will be taken mainly by the grid. And so when the grid is goes down, and you will have a fully charged battery to last through the blackout. And mode three is the peak shaving function. Peak shaving mode. This is like a financial mode if your electricity utility charges very high rates during peak hours here, and you can set the inverter to discharge the battery during this time, like specifically to avoid buying the power from the grid. And you can also charge the battery when the uh, outside of the peak time to make sure that it is ready for the next peak times here. So you can save like significant monies on your electricity bills through this function if you have a similar electricity pricing. And the mode 4 is the AC charge mode. So you can configure the inverter to charge the battery from the grid during the night when the electricity is cheap, or anytime when the electricity is cheap. So then you can use the energy during the day when the electricity is not cheap. So it also allows you three different charging time to ensure you that you are always ready for the for different for different electricity price. Okay, and the next mode is the PV charge. PV charge mode, PV charge priority mode. So this powers up the power up sequence is, you can see it the same with the battery backup. So it is like the same with the battery backup. In other words, it's a more versatile battery backup mode, which you can customize the charging time, because if you enable the battery backup, it will be active 24 hours every day. And with this function, you can customize the charging time and like based on your actual applications. And the last mode, mode 6 is forced discharge. So you can set a specific time. You can set a specific time slot to force the battery to discharge either to the loads or to export to the grid. This is useful for some areas like you have excess solar productions and you need to empty your batteries once in a while. Okay, and we have finally reached the last part, summary of today's two inverters. The first one is TriP2 HB3P 6 to 30 kilowatt. So this one you can get a refrigerated system that ensures the energy independence and reliable backup with the capacity from 6 to 30 kilowatt, and the voltage supported with high voltage batteries with IP rating 6, 5 to 10 years warranty, and 200 to 900 volts MPPT voltage range, and 10 units maximum parallel supported. And for TriP2 LB series, the same IP66 5 to 10 years warranty, working with low voltage batteries, the thin MPPT voltage range, and 10 units maximum for parallel connections. Okay. Thanks very much for your times today, and I'm now happy to take any questions you may have. And now I will I will turn on the unmute, or you can send the questions in the chat as well. Yeah, okay. I have received some questions in the chat. So, for example, for the high voltage battery series, what is the range of the volts? So, for the MPPT range is from 200 and 9 to 900 volts, and for the PV inputs, for the PV input range is from 100 to 1000 volts. So, actually, the maximum PV input volt is 1000. And for the battery, the range is from 200, sorry, yeah, the voltage is from 200 to 800 volts. And we have another question about the fan noise. The 50 decibels when fan is turned on or off. It is the noise when the fan is turned on. We have tested the. Okay, and I have. So which terminals will I connect to the start generator on the direct contact? So you can see that in the, okay, I'll just move forward to the terminal box. You can see here, beside, like right alongside the uh, communication ports, there is six ports. Six ports here. So you can use the this one is the direct contact ports. So if your generator has automatically start function, you can connect it through here to start the generator automatically. Okay, and we have another question about the warranty years. So the warranty is different based on the installation site and also like regions, also like warranty policies. So we can so you can you need to like ask the like for details for uh to the sales. So, also another question, is it compulsory to use or connect CT? So, like, if you are like grid connected application, we suggest you to connect the CT for like for more accurate data displays on the inverters. If you are a pure off-grid system, so you don't need to connect the CTs. Okay, and you also need the menus. I think my colleagues is also sending that in the chat group. Yeah, I mean, for the warranties, it depends on. Yes, so like you have to consult the sales with the actual warranty policies. Can we charge with light? Yes, of course. We can charge the batteries with PV, generator, and grid. For the UPS mode, is the inverter has online UPS function. I mean, how long does it take to convert between solar power and grid in seconds? That it is mentioned in the data sheet. So I mean, maybe different manufacturers have different terms. describing that function. So as you can see here, the switching time, I believe the switching time is the one you mentioned. It is switching between off-grid to on-grid. It is less than 10 milliseconds. And for the price, you can send a quote to our through our official sales emails or your contact sales. Yeah, for MPPT, what's the input maximum current from PV? So the maximum current input is 20 amperes for each strings for both LB and HB series. 20 amperes for each strings. So, I think our colleague Andy has already answered these questions. Does it need a constant upgrade like the SNA? So, if you have installed this inverter and you are happy with all the functions it has, you don't need to do any upgrade. And if you are interested in some updates we have done with our inverters, you would like that in your systems, you can perform the updates. Yes, and also asking for the user manuals, we have sent that as well. Is it available locally for purchase right now? Yeah, like we have already this inverter is all we have already like shipped some of the inverters in the market now. So you can contact the your local sales uh, local shops. And for the on and off button, it's not like the off-grid series. So currently there is only the PV switches, so no other on and off buttons on the inverter. You can see here. Okay, and in this scenario, if we are using a second port with generator as not as a smart load, then we will export power via grid power. Now, in this scenario, can we limit exporting power by CT, which will be installed in our node breaker? Yes. We can limit the power exporting to the grid by using the CT. Yeah, of course. Yes, our battery is compatible with our inverter and they can be parallels. For our low voltage battery, the maximum parallel units is 32. Like for our standard Li5 series battery is the maximum parallel modules is 32 modules, and you can and for inverter, the maximum parallel units is 10 units for the TriP2 series. Yes, yes, our colleagues will send you Send you the contact of our South African importer and suppliers. If we have shifted phases, do we have to shift them manually or the inverter? Uh, like no, like normally, like if you mean the shift phases, I'm not sure, but for example, if we are connecting to the grid, the three phase will detect our port will detect the phase of the grid, so we don't have to do it manually. It is automatically. But in the whole systems, you have to make sure that for example, the RST phase is the same with the loads and the generator. Yeah, I mean it's for if it is for the grid. I'm not sure if I'm talking about grid or other. If there are absent of phase from one of the phase supplied from the grid, will the inverter still charge the battery with two phases? Uh, uh, yeah, yes, yes. So we can actually but it's not like ideal applications. But if you only have one or I think if you only have one or two phase, it is okay to charge the battery. For the HB inverter series, there is only two battery ports, so one positive and one negative. And for the LB inverter series, there is two there is two battery terminals, two positive and two negative. The maximum grid voltage supported is based on the local grid uh local grid rules. If the grid voltage is higher than the grid rules, we will there will be errors on the inverters. So it is depends on the grid rules. And yes, so for the questions about the phase, how, if the phase has been changed, it is it is okay just and you just need to make sure that the other ports is the same, that they don't mix up. So for the cutoff voltage for battery settings, it is a customized settings. So it is like based on the battery parameters. So if you have like uh cutoff voltage for example like 50 or 48, so you can customize that on the settings, yeah, based on the parameters of your battery. Okay, okay, sorry about that. I'll speak louder. Yeah, we set up on phone and computer. Yeah, like currently it's much easier to use to monitoring the inverters on the phones and computers. Yes, like but so about the temperature, like you can see that the operating temperatures for in the data sheet. So let's go back. you'll see that the operating temperature, so like if it's the room temperature, the environmental temperature is larger than 45 Celsius degree, the inverter will be derating. So from 45 to 60, it will derating linearly to like from the rated power to zero. Yes, all our data sheets is available online on our official website. So it's luxpowertech.com. So you can check that. Yes, my colleague just sent you the links to download the data sheet. Yeah, I have received your questions about the here and okay, so there is no questions on chat. Yes, thank you for your participation. Have a nice day as well. Yeah, thank you all. Thank you for your participation in today's training, and uh, I will be here for like another 10 minutes. So if you have any questions or uh, about today's training, you can send it in the chat as well. So for in our data sheet, that's we suggesting the operating environmental temperature range is from minus 25 to 60 Celsius degree. But for example, if you are using like for example with the 30 kilowatts, but the actual loads or like actual loads is only like 1 or 2 kilowatts, and the for example the heat tank is not hot enough, the system is also it also can operating. But if you are using a larger or heavy load, so the inverter will be derating. So this is the 60 Celsius degree is just suggestions on like if you are trying to run your inverters in full capacity is not possible. So yeah, we have already recorded today's trainings, and we will share the trainings through our YouTube channel.